This is San Diego News Daily.
Hello and welcome to San Diego News Daily. I'm Dana Williams. First up, difficult breaking news. U.S. Central Command now confirming the first American fatalities as part of Operation Epic Fury. That's what the president is calling the joint U.S. and Israeli military attacks on Iran. At least 3 American service members have been killed. Another 5 have serious injuries. CENTCOM says several others have shrapnel injuries. Some have concussions and are in the process of returning to duty. We do know this is the area that Coronado-based USS Abraham Lincoln and its strike group is in. CENTCOM says they will not release additional information like the names of those killed in action until 24 hours after their families have been notified. And it comes after President Trump says the attacks have now killed Iran's supreme leader along with several other top government officials. Here is the latest. Iranian state media confirmed that the Ayatollah was killed in his office Saturday morning after the U.S. and Israel conducted a surprise daylight airstrike on hundreds of targets. The Pentagon focused on Iranian ballistic missile strikes while Israel targeted Iran's government leaders. The supreme leader led an oppressive Iranian regime for nearly 40 years before he was killed. Iran's military responded by attacking U.S. military bases in the region and civilian targets from countries it accused of being complicit with the United States. Iran's foreign minister told NBC News the country is interested in talks and de-escalation if attacks are paused. And we're also getting a better idea of how San Diego-based ships are taking part in that operation. That video is showing you Tomahawk land attack missiles launched from USS Spruance. This video is provided by U.S. Central Command. The San Diego-based Spruance and Pinckney are escort ships for USS Abraham Lincoln, which is in the Arabian Sea. According to the U.S. Naval Institute, USS Lincoln has more than 7,000 personnel on board. They've been on deployment since November last year, and it is unclear when they're going to return to their home port at Naval Air Station North Island. And while many people are celebrating President Trump bombing the Islamic regime, others are condemning the move. Protesters hit the streets across the United States and right here in San Diego, pushing back on the latest war, they say, sparked by the Trump administration. NBC7's Jeanette Casada was there and has more on what she heard from organizers.
The developments that have taken place in the last 24 hours have evoked mixed feelings among San Diegans. We spoke with Iranians who feel hopeful this will mark a new beginning for the future of the country. Others also told us they fear this could turn into a wider military conflict in the region.
Iran is free! Iran is free!
With Iranian flags, music, and dancing, hundreds of people celebrated on the streets of Claremont Saturday.
My heart, is beating so high, and I am so happy, so happy.
After learning Iran's supreme leader had been killed in a major attack by U.S. and Israel.
It was a feeling of euphoria, knowing that my people are free, knowing that a dictator that has ruled Iran with iron fist for well over 37 years has been killed, has been pushed out of the power, and we can have a democratic Iran.
Many say they're hoping this marks the beginning of a long-awaited regime change.
Our true enemy was the Islamic Republic. They were killing our youth, they were giving our money to the terrorists, and they were supporting terrorism, and they didn't care about well-being of their own citizens.
Biggest threat in the world today?
Israel and the USA.
Over in downtown, a much different story.
No war on anyone.
Protesters called on the U.S. to stop airstrikes on Iran.
We're here to call on the end of endless wars. We need to disrupt imperialism and concern ourselves with citizens in this country.
Others worry it could lead to more military involvement by the U.S. in the Middle East. They also worry the bombings could set off a bigger conflict in the region.
I think it's important that we stand together collectively as people in struggle and also as U.S. citizens, demanding that we don't want to go to war.
Both protesters and supporters of the strikes now waiting to see what comes next with the leadership vacuum in Iran. Jeanette Casada, NBC7.
And the San Diego police also released a statement in regard to the recent military operation in Iran. They said in part they're being mindful of local religious institutions, cultural centers, and other sensitive locations, adding that at this time There are no known credible threats to San Diego, but of course they will continue to monitor. Iran now naming Ayatollah Ali Reza Arafi to the country's interim leadership council. These are pictures of him with the late Pope Francis. Arafi will be part of the temporary leadership council alongside the country's president and chief justice. The 66-year-old cleric has been a member of Iran's constitutional watchdog Guardian Council and the assembly of experts that will choose the next leader. He was handpicked by late Ali Khamenei as a member of the Guardian Council in 2019. Of course, this is developing stories. Stick with NBC7 on air and online as we continue following the latest in the Israel-Iran conflict. And big changes coming to Balboa Park this week. After months of public backlash, the controversial parking policy at Balboa Park is getting updated tomorrow. The biggest changes impact only City of San Diego residents who will now be able to park in 7 of the 12 parking lots for free. In order to get in on it, though, you have to register and be verified ahead of time. That comes at a $5 fee. People who live in the rest of the county still have to pay full price. Enforcement will now end earlier at 6 p.m. instead of 8 o'clock. And if the handicapped spots are taken, free handicapped parking will be available all day at any spot, although regulars at the park have mixed feelings.
We're here an hour early to ensure we get a space. Non-dancers use the park also feel it should be a county thing. If you're a resident of the county of San Diego, then we all should be treated equally.
Officers will not begin ticketing until March 16th. As for anyone who lives in the city of San Diego who may have already purchased a parking pass, you can request a refund or you could use it in the premium lots. Our NBC7 meteorologist Angelica Campos will have a look at your weather right after this.
We are rolling. Your left, I'm sorry.
Let's do this.
Where do you get your information from?
Well, definitely start with the local news.
The reason why I love listening to local news like NBC, they give the facts.
California families could feel
They have a genuine interest, first as people and second as a news team.
Because this is their community too.
Sometimes the news isn't always fun. Bringing it to us every day in good and bad times is something that we rely on.
Nice to have you with us. It is good to have you with us. What to expect for today? Mostly sunny skies, gusty winds picking up in the afternoon and into tonight as cooler air will start to work its way into the county. So becoming breezy this afternoon. For tomorrow, we're getting ready for the coldest day of the week. I'll show you what to expect. Also, more wind for the eastern part of the county. But this upcoming week should be pleasant with temperatures trending closer to normal. If you're hoping to head out to the coast, maybe the beach, a low risk of rip currents for today. Water between 60 and 65. Waves right around 1 to 3 feet with low tide happening this afternoon at 2:21. The temperature closer to the water will be right around 70 degrees. So we're starting to feel some of that cool breeze coming our way. And for inland communities, you'll get there too tomorrow. We're still above average, close to 20 degrees above normal for this afternoon, but we should stay away from records, at least for today. As we look ahead, there's a storm system on the way. Some rain for Northern California, but mostly clouds for our region. As we go into tonight, some of those clouds could get heavy enough to produce a touch of drizzle by tomorrow morning, but don't expect it to be much. It is going to be fairly cloudy, and then we'll see those temperatures trending closer to normal or slightly above for some of you. In Ramona, 72 degrees for tomorrow to start the week. San Diego will be back in the 60s, but for today, still in the low 80s for the downtown area. Anywhere from 77 to 81. The farther east you go, the warmer it gets. So El Cajon, 87, 83 Alpine, 85 in Ramona. And Encinitas today, 70 degrees. A nice day in store. 76 degrees in Pine Valley. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy for the coast, mid-50s, low 50s inland. You're going to be much cooler tonight in the mountains, and for the deserts, clear to partly cloudy, also with that breeze picking up. As we look ahead, upper 60s Tuesday, Wednesday, great weather for the middle of the week. By the end of the week, we have to start thinking about the weekend because something big is happening. We have to spring forward. It is that time of the year we lose that 1 hour of sleep, and then we just have to kind of make it through the next week. So think about it, get ready for it, and also a good time to get batteries and replace the smoke detectors in your home. So just a few things to get you through the week. There's also a lunar eclipse on Tuesday morning, Dana, and we're going to have the best visibility in the country.
Angelica, thanks so much for those reminders. And this could be a good way to celebrate the unseasonably warm weather. The Carlsbad flower fields, they're back and open for the season. You can see more than 80 million flowers blooming across 42 football fields, including the Tecolote giant ranunculus. The peak time to view the flowers is typically between the end of this month and the beginning of May, but thanks to our recent rains and all the sunshine we're getting now, the season is already off to a pretty spectacular start. There's more coverage you can count on at NBC7.com, and you can always find us on your Roku or your Samsung Smart TV app. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Dana Williams.